Hey, what's up? Improvement Warrior, Jason Yun, back again. I wanted to talk about eating, again, nutrition, and this relates to hormones as well. But I wanted to talk about the eating multiple times per day. So this will probably be my big mistakes that I made before in the past, part 2. Part 1 was about egg whites and the 120 egg whites I ate per week back in the day. Just stupid. But eating multiple times per day it was bro science. Basically, it was created, I believe, by the bodybuilding community. And the whole premise was you've got to eat every 2 to 3 hours because we do not have a receptor site for protein or amino acids that we can store like we do for fat and we do for carbohydrates. So you have to constantly be putting it in your body in order to grow muscle and get stronger and all this stuff. Cut, get fat, or lose the body fat, all that stuff. Okay. I believe there's been at least a couple studies showing that eating multiple times per day versus the 3 squares there's no real difference. Okay? But the one thing with multiple meals per day is it's destroying your leptin receptors. Okay? Leptin is the master hormone. It is the controller of all energy metabolism. And I'm still learning about leptin, even though I've done a couple webinars on it. There's going to be multiple parts to the leptin webinars that I do, so at least 6 or 7 or 8. Okay? But if you haven't watched the leptin webinars, improvementwarriorfitness.com/leptin. And the thing is, if you are leptin resistant and you are eating multiple times per day, you're always going to be leptin resistant. Okay? Now you can lose weight being leptin resistant, but you're not going to be healthy. I mean, you can lose weight eating basically anything. Eating ho-hos, eating Twinkies, pizza, cookies, all that stuff. All you need to do is lower your calories enough and boom, there you go. Okay? But I always say, never, ever focus on weight. Okay? Unless you are a weight class athlete and you have to be in a certain weight class. Okay? But when you focus on weight, okay, that's when health usually drops. And we're just sacrificing short-term gain for long-term pain. Because when you get older, doing whatever you're doing to lose that weight is going to cause the older you to suffer. So metabolism is going to go down. Hormones are going to be out of whack. If you're a female, you're going to go into menopause earlier. Okay? If you're a male, you could go into andropause, which is basically male menopause, which is something you never want to do. Okay? So when you are eating multiple times per day, it's basically your leptin receptors. It's basically like you're driving cross country. So say you're driving from New York to Los Angeles. And it's basically driving there with a broken fuel gauge. So you don't actually know when you need to fill up your tank. Okay, so you just have to guess. And that's what the multiple meals per day comes in. So it's basically snacking throughout the day to keep the car going or keep yourself going throughout the day. Okay, the big problem with that is your body gets reliant on that. And instead of actually sending hunger signals to you when you're actually hungry, okay, it'll do it based on a time clock. Okay? So I talk about circadian biology all the time. It's the number one most important thing for our health. So basically, if you're always eating a snack at 10 a.m., you eat your breakfast at 7 a.m., then you eat your snack at 10 a.m., okay? The body's always going to say, hey, I'm hungry, when you're not really hungry. Okay? Oh, might be somewhat hungry, because when you do that, it destroys the leptin receptors and it destroys all kinds of things. It spikes glucose. Usually, most people that are eating multiple times per day, they're eating more carbohydrates. Okay, and when you're doing that, you're sending all kinds of crazy signals, especially if you're doing it out of season, like the fall and the winter. That's when you're really going to mess things up, cause disease progression to progress even faster, or symptoms of other diseases to show up even faster. Okay, so we want to basically the premise of to reset your leptin receptors is in the morning. You want to see that morning sunrise. Okay, that is that is the most important thing to resetting your circadian biology, and leptin is hugely tied into your circadian biology and your circadian rhythm. Okay, so you want to see that first sun. In today's world, 15 minutes. Okay, but if all you have is 5, that's what you got to give it. Okay, so you want to see that sunrise when there's no UV light. Okay, so where I live, it's the 40th latitude. We usually have about 75 to 90 minutes before UV shows up. So you want to see that. Then, after that, you want to eat your big-ass breakfast, your BAB. Okay, your big-ass breakfast is going to have lots of protein, lots of fat. It can have carbohydrates in it, but the more overweight you are, the less carbohydrates need to be in that meal. Okay? Protein, it should be anywhere between 50 to 75 grams of protein. Okay? And you'll have to be the judge. So if you're getting hungry 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours, because that big ass breakfast, it should take you to dinner without being hungry. But when you're just starting it, you want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so lunch might just be a small something, so protein and vegetables and some kind of fat. Okay, so basically what that is doing, see the light, then you're putting the big ass breakfast in, the protein, so it's basically resetting our protein, which is our ubiquination. So ubiquination is basically protein folding or unfolding, so they're not folding correctly, so they can't really do the things that they need to do. Okay, so it happens a lot of people have major problems with protein unfolding with Alzheimer's. Okay, and it's just a buildup of doing bad things over time. Okay, so we want to avoid that, and we want to get to where you can skip lunch, so you can see the light, get the big ass breakfast, skip lunch, eat dinner. Okay, and then repeat. Okay, usually it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. That's like the average. Okay, but don't assume it's going to take the average for you. Depending on how much overweight you are, how your disease has progressed over time, where your hormones are at, other things going on in your environment. Okay, so non-native EMF, how much blue light you're exposed to, how much Wi-Fi you're exposed to. The video I made before this was talking about using your cell phone on your head. Okay, don't do that. That's just stupid. Okay? So eventually you want to get it to where you're doing that. So see the light, big ass breakfast. You can skip lunch eventually, and then dinner. And then you want your dinner, you want to finish your dinner at least 4 hours before bedtime. Okay? Because usually you want to be in bed, preferably by 11. Because between 12 and 2, that's when the magic starts happening. So the release of hormones and growth hormones and melatonin starts to come out and all that stuff. Okay? But that's what we want to do. And then we want to drop the habit of the multiple meals per day. So I think 6 is usually what they recommend. So you have breakfast, and then every like 3 to 4 hours you're eating. Okay? Back in my bodybuilding days, I was doing anywhere between 7 to 10 meals a day. So for me, it was every 90 minutes to 3 hours. Okay? So it was stupid and ridiculous. And I mean, I was following the bodybuilding diets: very high carb, very high protein, very low fat. And basically, if I went anywhere that was going to be over 2 hours, I had to plan around that. So if I went to a movie, I would have to eat before the movie. I would have to take a protein bar to eat at the movie. Then I would have to eat after the movie. It was stupid. I was leptin resistant. I was pre-diabetic. It's when you don't know, and when you know better, you do better. Okay, so if you are constantly eating multiple meals per day, that's a signal things are bad. Okay? And the big ass breakfast, it's called a big ass breakfast because it's supposed to be big ass. Big ass. Okay? It's not supposed to be small. Like I said, 50 to 75 grams of protein at least, and fat somewhere around that range as well. Okay? So if you're just eating a hard-boiled egg or 2 and I don't know, a banana, stop eating bananas. Okay, especially if you're leptin resistant. Okay, so it's going to be a big breakfast, and you might have to work up to getting that much protein and getting that much fat in that breakfast. Okay, but that's it. That's all I got for this one. If you have questions, let me know, and yeah, I will talk to you next time. Have a great day. Stay strong. Stay positive.